Shalom, shalom to everyone watching. Just recently watching the proposal of Senator James Richard, I believe he's from Alabama, how he's proposing in the Senate two bills, one which would deal directly with the issue of Sharia law and making it unlawful, and the other one having to do with people coming in from these countries who happen to embrace Sharia law and are very anti-American in every aspect, like we see take place in the Senate with Ilan Talib and the other Muslims extremists that we have allowed them to come in. Obviously, it's very clear that the law that allowed them to come into Congress and to take political position was one which the Democratic Party was the one that opened the door to the very enemies of the United States into Congress. So, without a doubt, we are in a state of alarm and of danger. Now, I do encourage people to contact their legislature, make sure that the bill that's being presented by James is passed in Congress. We need to stop Sharia law throughout this country. And it's becoming more and more important as the days go by that becomes the law, even though it's very clear in our Constitution that Constitution is what's rule. But as we see in Dearborn, Michigan, and other places in the United States, little by little they're putting aside the Constitution in order to push the agenda of implementing Sharia law, which is not only not good, it is also diabolical and cult-like in a lot of its aspects. Let me also suggest this to my Jewish friends, especially religious ones that fully know the halakha regarding a Rodef. A Rodef is a person that's pursuing another person in order to unalive them and would do anything they can to try to entrap them to unalive them. Sharia law is one of those traps. Islamist extremists are another. And therefore, I believe many Batei Dins throughout the country should really ask the question in their courts whether Islamists are in fact considered a Rodef. A Rodef is a pursuer of life to try to annihilate the life of Christians and Jews. As far as I'm concerned, they are. And I would encourage different Batei Dins to come out with declarations stating that in fact Islamists are Rodef. Now there are rules that come into play when it is clearly understood that a group of people or a particular party or movement is considered a Rodef, including the idea of self-defense and preemptive attack in the event that they try to do harm to any Jew. Especially now that we know what's taking place in New York is going to be a major threat to the majority of Jews in New York. I believe it's time to activate the policy of Rodef, just like Meir Kahane had mentioned and many other rabbis of his time mentioned, that we need to proactively defend ourselves from these hellish, evil Rodef that we have in our midst. And you know what I mean by that. That means that many times we need to do things to be able to save our own people, save lives, and that includes unalive them before they unalive us. That's my position, and I'm going to go talk to the Batei Din that I'm part of to issue out a decree in that type of issue, and I hope many other Batei Dins or Batei Dins would do the same. So talk to your rabbi, your Rosh on the Batei Din, and have them basically address this issue of actual threat, whether we Jews need to do something to activate the unaliving of these individuals that are completely a threat to not only Jewish life, Christian life, but all American life here in America. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with the Ways of Israel. Shalom.